Okay, now I'm going to show you how to make a machine hem. I'm going to take one piece of fabric, make sure that you are looking at the bad side or the wrong side of the fabric, and you're going to use a sewing gauge. You're going to move the sewing gauge down to a 1/2 inch. Okay, take your sewing gauge or seam gauge, and after you fold what you consider a 1/2 inch, you would use your gauge to measure. Make sure it's actually measuring a 1/2 inch. When you have measured, you'll take a pen and put it in place to hold it while you continue measuring all the way across. Please make sure that you measure all the way across. That way you know you're going to have a straight hem. Once you have that pinned, you'll use your iron very carefully to crease your fold. Make sure when you set your iron down, you set it up on its heel so that it is not burning anything. Take your pins out as you go. Always double check your hem, your fold, to make sure that it stayed a 1/2 inch. Okay? Now you're going to move your sewing gauge down to a full inch. You're going to then change your fabric or fold down your fabric to a full inch as well. Use your gauge to make sure that your fold is actually an inch. Put your pins in as you go. Make sure you measure all the way across. Now what we have done is we've created a smooth edge or a finished edge. That raw edge where it can fray is tucked under so that your machine hem will hold. Again, with the iron to press down that seam or that fold. Taking your pins out as you go. Double checking, make sure it didn't move. Now it's important that you go ahead and put your pins back in so that it doesn't move on you when you go back to your machine. One thing I want to mention about pinning, make sure that when you put your pins in, you put the pins down on this fold. You're hoping to keep this 1/2 inch fold that we did earlier. Make sure that it stays. If you put your pins up here, then that 1/2 inch fold could end up coming out. So you want to make sure that you are pinning in the right place. We'll take it to our machine, and this time instead of sewing 5/8, what we're trying to do is stitch along this bottom fold. Again, making sure that we catch both our 1/2 inch fold and our 1 inch fold as we stitch. That will make sure that we have a nice machine hem. We are going to line up this bottom fold with the left side of our presser foot. So I am going to put my presser foot down, and I'm going to make sure that the edge of the foot follows this nice crease that we've created with our iron. I'm going to start a couple of stitches. Again, you're going to reverse back stitch. Make sure that when you get to your pen, you stop. Take your pins out and put them in a pin cushion. When you get to the end, make sure you reverse to back stitch. Lift up on your presser foot, pull out your fabric, cut your tails off at the edge, and now you have a nice stitch that is capturing both of those folds. Make sure that you double check to make sure that nowhere did you miss that second fold.